So you guys are going to love this interview today and our guest. And she is a coach that does strength training, weight loss, and as well as she's a yogini biker too. And she's written an amazing book called Uncomfortable, the one thing that you need to do to lose weight, get strong, and thrive in midlife. And she also helps women to slay weight loss so that they can have the body that they desire and want, and help them with overcoming overwhelm and just challenges with that. And so, welcome and hello, Trisha Selbach. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's a delight.
Yes, so excited. And let's start off with your book, if we could, because I was actually kind of a little surprised about, so many books that we read about health and wellness and diet and exercise. It's all about eat more vegetables and more fruit and drink more and exercise more. But you really went into a lot of a bigger picture, a much deeper picture as far as spirituality, mindset, and also talking about menopause too. So maybe if you could give us a little takeaway of those three areas, and just give us some insight into your book a little bit.
Sure. Well, when I started on my journey to become a personal trainer and a weight loss coach, I had a lot of coaches, and they all emphasized the importance of mindset and how nothing was going to move forward if you didn't change your mind, because what we think dictates what we do. And if we keep thinking the same thing, we're going to keep doing the same thing. And then when I opened my gym, I owned a gym in Vermont for 6 years. I mostly had middle-aged women. I did a lot of group training. So we had a really strong community where women felt really comfortable to be vulnerable. And I started to discover the deeper layers as to why women have either are overweight or have body dysmorphism or hate their body or punish their body. And in that group setting, we would address those issues. We would stop in the middle of a workout and all go stand in front of the mirror and talk, or we'd all sit down and get in a circle. And it was really powerful. And so I reversed engineered weight loss all the way down to like the core of it. Like, why do we have problems with our bodies? Why do we have problems with food? And it sort of sums up like we think we have many problems, but we only have one problem, and that's our sort of our existential dread or our feelings of being disconnected from other people or disconnected from our source. And when we feel connected to other people and we feel connected to a purpose, and my cat's walking all over everything, um, it kind of solves all the other problems. So that has to be addressed in weight loss, because we don't mindlessly eat just because we're mindlessly eating. There's something underneath that. There's always something underneath what's going on with with our bodies. And so that really needs to be addressed when you're talking about losing weight, because it's really a core change in yourself. How can I feel connected to everything? How can I feel connected to other people? So sometimes I tell people, just go be nice to someone. Go open the door for somebody. You'll feel so much better about everything. Try to get connected to people around you, because that's the core problem.
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
so that's kind of the spiritual problem, is just that we feel special, we feel different, we feel other, and we're not. We're all just human beings. And then the mindset piece, really, to get back to the beginning of what I said, is the way we think about things, the way we talk about things, the words we use keep us in a pattern. So I had a great coach who told me three words never to say. Never to say frustrated, confused, or overwhelmed, because it keeps you kind of in a trap. Like if you're overwhelmed, you're like, I'm overwhelmed, I can't do anything. Oh my God, I can't move forward. And he said, just say, I'm going to figure everything out one step at a time. It changes everything. Then you start to take action. Other things that, mindset things that I talk a lot about with my clients is they'll say, well, I'm fat. And I'll say, well, you're not fat. You have fat on your body. Or they'll say, um, I can't do that. And I'll say, well, you can't do that yet. Or they'll say, I want to love my body. And I'll say, well, why? Like I just today, actually, I was talking to somebody and they said, I want to love my body. And I said, well, those guys that just like love their cars, those men that are just obsessed with their cars. And it's all they think about, and they're just polishing their cars all the time and they're obsessed with their cars. How many of those guys have you met that are like really cool people? Like, don't be so obsessed with loving your body. Be more obsessed with like loving other people and knowing that you aren't your body, that you're bigger than your body's just your car. You don't want to be one of those guys that's in love with their Porsche.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Or I think in your book you said worry more about the fried Oreo uh, than, or worry more about the heart disease and the fried Oreo than your body too. Or you said something to that effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I really just loved your book, and so I highly recommend that everyone reads it. It's not a really long read, so that made it kind of nice. It doesn't take 6 weeks to read the book. And so, where can people get your book?
They can get my book through my website, which is just trishaselbach.com, or you can get it on Amazon. So I've kept it on Kindle for 99 cents so that anybody can grab it. And you could get in the best shape of your life just reading the book because I have tons of links to all kinds of free resources. Um, but usually people need a little bit more help than that. But I wanted
Mhm.
it to be a resource for people to not be confused and to have access to everything you need. Like what should, what's the best way to eat? What's the best way to exercise? What are some books to read? Where do you go for this? Where do you go for that? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, awesome, awesome book. And so, anyone that really is struggling with muscle loss or low energy or weight gain, especially in midlife, I highly recommend that you read the book. And so, let's segue into a little bit about your background and what has led you to do what you do today.
I I actually everything I learned about fitness, I learned from my dog trainer. I worked with a dog trainer for 25 years who did personal protection and aggressive dog rehabilitation. He was really my main guru. He unfortunately passed away 3 years ago, which was very, very sad. But he sort of taught me everything about everything. And I was working with him and I had trained a couple of German shepherds with him, and then my life fell apart. I suddenly got divorced. I was raising three little kids. I was homeschooling my kids, and I had to make a huge life change. And that's when I discovered fitness, and fitness saved my life. I had never worked out. I was very overweight. I was very out of shape. And I went to one boot camp class and I was in love. It was love at first push up. I said, wow, what the heck is this? I love it. And luckily, the person that owned the boot camp took me under her wing. She was my first mentor in fitness. I was with her for a year, and it was just a great experience. That's what really pushed me into fitness. Was my own transformational story.
Mm, well, awesome.
Yeah.
Um, well, let's dive into midlife weight and muscle topics. So, I think the big question that we all want to know is why do so many women gain weight midlife?
So I'm very opinionated about this. And I'll just give a little background. I was listening to another coach's webinar the other night that I got so mad. I was so angry because I think what she said was that she was trying to sell her program that was all about counting macros. making it sound like it was something new and exciting and different. She's just talking about being a calorie deficit and eating enough protein. And she said that hormones have nothing to do with weight gain in menopause. I wanted to send her a slew of studies because our loss of estrogen and testosterone and progesterone also plays a role in that it makes it hard for us to sleep is enormous. When we hit menopause and those hormones tank, we lose muscle at an accelerated rate. We also lose a lot of energy even if we aren't noticing it. So those two things put together equals body fat. And the lack of estrogen in our system also means that we deposit belly fat. We get more visceral fat around our organs, and we also put it more around our midsection. So with our energy um, going down and our food consumption either staying the same or going up because we feel like garbage and we're not getting enough sleep, then the energy in energy out equation goes wacko. So hormones have a huge effect on midlife weight gain. And you'll hear a lot of coaches say, well, you can balance your hormones through food and exercise, or they'll say you can fire up your metabolism, and all those things are just words to confuse people. Um, so when I work with online clients, if they're willing and they're not, and if they're willing, I always tell them, let's not waste your time. Go on HRT first, find a doctor. I'll help you find a doctor. I'll help you figure out what to ask the doctor. And then you can enroll in my program. But it's really hard to exercise when you feel horrible.
Mm,
And if you're losing muscle and all you're doing to exercise is running on the treadmill, you're just running yourself into a ditch.
mm,
So the first thing is to replace those hormones that you're losing, which 95% of women are, it's safe to do. We've been brainwashed and fear mongered to think that somehow it's bad for us. That's really the first step so that you'll have the energy to work out. You'll have those hormones supporting the muscle preservation. Progesterone is going to help you sleep. You're going to feel like yourself again. Not every woman feels huge symptoms from menopause, but the effects on our body are the same for every woman. Hormone replacement therapy protects you from stroke, dementia, osteoporosis, diabetes, all the things that we die from, you know. So it's not talked about enough, and it's kind of a lot of people are afraid to say it out loud because we've been so afraid of hormones. I'm not sure why,
mm.
since we've had them our whole lives. And imagine if men just lost their testosterone when they turned 50. You think we'd be holding it back from them?
Huh, right.
No.
Mm, that's true. That is true. Well, for me, it felt kind of like I lost my internal air conditioning
Yes.
and my youth hormone. It just went away, and digesting food became very different.
Yes.
I started having a lot of food allergies. So,
Yes.
yeah, going through menopause is a really big change in life for sure.
It
Yeah.
is. I think for our daughters' generation, it's going to be a lot easier because I think, now doctors are starting to wake up a little bit.
Mm,
And women our age are demanding it. We're Gen X. We're like, we're not taking this laying down.
mhm, mhm. Yeah.
Um, so
I remember in your book you talked about you shunned the one doctor off and found someone else that would listen to you. So,
it took me 7 doctors.
wow. I
Yeah.
remember you talking about that. I didn't know it was seven, but I knew it was
And so
uh,
you need a lot of encouragement from the peanut gallery to keep going from doctor to doctor because we have, what is it called, like white coat syndrome or something? I don't know what it is. We all, when we're in a conversation with a doctor and they have the white coat on and they have the degrees on the wall, we feel like we don't know anything and they know everything. But we're in our bodies and we know that our muscles hurt, our joints ache, we can't sleep, we lost our libido, we hate our husbands, we can't stop sweating. And all we want to do is cry all day and we don't want to exercise and we just want to eat donuts. And they're like, oh,
mhm,
well, just part of getting older. You're like, I can't button my pants. They're like, well, it's just, accept it. Or whatever
Yeah.
they're telling us, you can't take hormones because they're dangerous or whatever. So there's this power thing where we think they know better about us, our bodies.
Mm,
But
mm,
so we just need to find a little, courage to stand up for ourselves and say, no, I don't feel good. I don't feel right. And I can't button my pants and I feel, weak and I ache everywhere. We don't have to feel like that.
right. Right. Absolutely. Well, the next topic is how can women lose weight while maintaining muscle midlife?
So one of the things is the exercise. Well, first of all, HRT I think is critical. And then secondly, the exercise, the type of exercise that you're doing, if you've exercised your whole life, maybe you never have, it changes. So when you're, before 50, you can be a cardiomaniac. It seems to work. You can go super low calorie and, you know, it seems to work. But as we age, things need to change. So this is a hard thing for women to get their head around. You have to go to the gym unless you're willing to invest in a lot of money to have a home gym, and you have to lift heavy weights. Obviously, you need to go in easy, start slowly, but you probably can't do it with hand weights at home. You're not going to do it with yoga. You're not going to do it with Pilates. It's like you got to work out like a man. Um, and it's fairly intimidating for women to go to a gym and where all the meatheads are, all the gym bros in their tank tops and stuff with their big gallons of water. But honestly, they're the nicest people in the world and they'll help you. But it is intimidating, I get it.
Mm,
But you gotta say, what am I more afraid of? Falling down and breaking a hip and never getting back up again, ending up like, in a hospital bed, peeing myself. It's a horrible thing because the lack of hormones also can create incontinence. So that's what you're looking at. So you're like, okay, I'm going to learn how to do this. So it's heavy lifting and high intensity interval training, which could just be wearing a weighted vest and walking fast and walking slow and walking fast and walking slow and walking fast and walking slow. Or you can do, sprints on a treadmill, or you can do kettlebell stuff. But the cardio gets a lot less important and the weight training gets a lot more
mm,
important. And it's never
yeah.
too late to start. And it does look intimidating at first, which is why I have a cute little studio that's super clean and has pink things and Marilyn Monroe all over. It's very women friendly. It's very foofy,
Yeah.
fluffy, and
Mm,
pink. And we do very hard. The women that come there do very hard things,
yeah.
and they love it
Well,
in every.
that's where I found you on Instagram. I was just so inspired at how strong you are, and that was one of the reasons I reached out. Is I want to interview you and talk to you. So yeah, that's you are very very strong, and
Thank you. I'm pretty strong for how old I am. My workout partner's 42 and she's
mm.
5'9" and 180 pounds. So she can lift me with her hand.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
but it's having a coach or a workout partner is also incredibly important. I have never been this strong in my whole life because of my workout partner,
Mm,
because she encourages me. She's like, I think you could do more.
mm.
Really? Do you think
That's-
so? And, and she goes, yeah, I think so. So
Yeah, we need our tribe and community support with each other for sure. Motivation, inspiration.
yeah, it's very hard. I think it's
Yeah.
very hard for a middle-aged woman to go to the gym by herself and consistently
Mm,
just show up every single day and give it their all. I think having a workout partner is just awesome.
yeah. Yeah. An accountability partner too, right?
Yeah.
Like my dog is my accountability partner to walk every morning. He's waiting with the leash in his mouth practically. Let's go.
Dogs are great for that. They
Yeah.
really are. Because They don't take no for an answer.
Yeah, no, they don't. Well, if for those of you watching, let us know in the comments that you're joining us, and if you've struggled with weight or energy level in midlife, then comment yes. Let us know what's going on with you, and well, let's go into diet and nutrition next. So, what is the best diet for weight loss at midlife for women? Do you
It's
recommend?
really centered around protein because as we age, we need more protein and we also eat less protein as we age. So it's people are very surprised when they start tracking their protein. That's why I was talking about the woman with the fancy macro counting program. It's like all you got to do is write down what you eat for a week or two and you'll see, wow, I really don't get enough protein. Really, it's about a gram per pound of body weight. So think about how much you weigh. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you need to eat 150 grams of protein a day. That is a full-time job. So I
Mm,
tell people that's sort of your goal, um, that you probably will never reach, but you're striving for it every day. You want to, every meal is centered around protein. You also need a lot of fiber during menopause. So it's like fibrous, lots of vegetables that are, fill you up, big salads with chicken on them, lots of veggies and lots of protein.
mm,
So, and then of course you have to be in a calorie deficit if you want to lose weight. There's just no getting around it. And that sucks. I'm sorry, that nobody likes to be in
ah,
a calorie deficit because you're hungry.
right.
Um, there are many tricks that you can use to not be hungry when you're in a calorie deficit. Many. Um, you can drink exogenous ketones. You could have a nicotine patch. You could do a GLP-1 medication. You could drink a ton of water. It's uncomfortable to be hungry. So I don't have any problem with people doing something that helps them not be so hungry to make it more manageable.
Mm. Yeah, what do you think about protein powders? Do you think that those are a good thing or no?
I do. If you have one that's, you just have to be careful that you get one that isn't, full of junk.
Hmm.
And the other thing is to make sure that it is not one of those vegan, um, well, let me rephrase that. If you're going to drink a vegan protein shake, you need to add like egg white powder or something to it because you're not getting a complete protein. But I think as long as the company is reputable, I think they're essential. I don't know how you can get enough protein without them. So I drink one a day and then I'll drink one before I go to bed.
Yeah, the new craze is cottage cheese and everything, and
Everything. It's in everything.
I do like to eat it some, but it kind of upsets my stomach too, so I can't eat a lot of it. That dairy.
Yeah,
Um,
I put it in my protein shake because I mix it up in
mm,
the blender.
mm,
It's good. But
yeah.
yeah, it's
It
very
actually makes a great mayonnaise mayo substitute. I made some chicken salad, and instead of putting mayo in there, I tried yogurt and it was okay, but the blended up cottage cheese with the yogurt was really good.
it is. Cottage cheese is great. I'm really
Yeah.
happy it's making it come back. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, well, key supplements, what kind of supplements do you recommend for women to take?
Besides HRT, um, I would say one supplement that's on the top of the list is creatine. Creatine, I've been taking probably for 15 years because it's a gym person's, it used to be a gym person's supplement. It's probably one of the most widest studied supplements that exists. So anybody could do a Google search on creatine and find a million different studies. It's very important for muscle preservation, and it's also very important for brain function. So they're finding people who drink, who have creatine, it helps stave off dementia, Alzheimer's. It's also really pivotal in sleep. So if you have a terrible night's sleep and you don't know how you're going to make it through the day, you can kind of mega dose on creatine. It'll help you get through the day. So it's a naturally occurring substance in our food. We just can't eat enough food to get enough creatine. It's tasteless, it's cheap, it's easy. It just dump it in your water. So I suggest everyone do creatine, usually magnesium, fiber. Usually, I will tell people to go get their labs. 99% of people are deficient in vitamin D, and that's really important for your bone strength.
Mhm.
Um, Usually collagen, but you have to be careful what kind you buy. There's a lot of junk on the market. Um, I think I might have hit them all. Protein,
Yeah.
yeah. Those are sort of the main ones. If you start looking, you'll think you need every single one.
Huh.
You think you'll
Yeah.
need everything. But I think
Yeah.
every woman should be drinking creatine and getting enough protein. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for letting us know that. And for those of you watching, comment in the comments and let us know what nutritional struggles that you have with cravings or um, that type of thing. Let us know in the comments. And you'll be watching the replay, but Trisha, maybe you can come back, and if anyone has any questions in the comments, you can come and answer them and give them. Well, I think you have maybe some free resources. Do you have some different things that you can uh, give people to get them started on their health and wellness journey?
I do. You can go to my website. I have some free ebooks on there. You can find me on Facebook and message me anytime. Um, I'm an open book. You can
Mhm.
book a call with me and we can talk. It's a free thing. My mission really is to help women, you know, live a vibrant, joyful second half of their life. So that's what fuels me. So I will answer any questions. And I know a lot of
Awesome.
tricks.
Yes.
I know a lot of like, the cravings, the hunger, all that kind of stuff, how to get started in the gym, all that stuff.
Mhm. And yo-yo dieting too. That's always been kind of a big challenge. You lose 20 pounds, but then to keep it off, you really got to work at it. So you have to really change your eating habits. And
Yeah, you can't do something for
yeah.
a little while and then go
Mhm.
back to what you were doing before, which is why going back to how we started off is why you have to start with your mindset.
Mhm.
So everyone that goes through my program, I encourage them strongly to meditate, if they're willing, or to find something to help them get started in changing their mindset. And that could be a million different things.
Mhm.
There's so many books, there's so many paths. My yoga teacher always used to say there's many, many ways to get to Kansas. But we're all trying to go. I don't know why he picked Kansas, I'm not sure, but there's so many ways to get there. But what we're trying to do is develop self-awareness so that when you are making a decision about something, saying something about yourself, grabbing some food mindlessly, whatever it is, you're just bringing it up into your consciousness because that's how we create change. So that's why I always tell my clients about tracking calories. It's not about looking good in a bikini, it's about bringing the unconscious into consciousness. Maybe you don't
Mhm.
realize that you just ate 600 calories worth of dried mango. You don't know. You
Right.
forget. You think it's a fruit and you think it's good and you're just chowing on it mindlessly while you're doing something else. It's like, let's stop, like, be present and notice what we're doing and not judge
Mhm.
ourselves. It's another thing. It's just like, don't judge yourself. Just kind of notice, just like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
hey.
You can have several apples in a big salad versus a couple tablespoons of peanut butter. So I'm a person that counts calories, and I'm always shocked at, okay, I can have lots of this or a little bitty bit of that.
Isn't that, it is very shocking. And when people start
Yeah.
writing it down, that's when
Mhm.
the light bulb goes on because often when you hear somebody like me say it's calories in, calories out, you're like, you skinny bitch, what are you blah, blah, blah,
Mhm.
right? You don't get it. I don't eat very much. People say that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't doubt that you don't eat very much. I believe you, but you don't eat very much, but what you do eat has too many calories.
Hmm. Yeah. And maybe not enough nutrition either, right? So peanut butter versus some stir-fried kale and chicken, the nutrient value is way different.
It
Yeah,
is.
for
Although
sure.
I do love peanut butter.
I know it's good with apples
It is, it's so good.
or on toast for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Well, awesome. Well, so can you tell us a little bit more about how you work with people? You do, I guess, one-on-one, or do you have a program, or how does that work?
I do two things. So I do, although I just started a third thing, which is really fun. I have a studio here in Tryon, North Carolina. Like I was describing, it's very girly and pink and fluffy with a lot of very heavy, scary weights. So I work with people there one-on-one or two-on-one. I also have an online program which I'm working one-on-one with people developing a custom meal plan, a custom workout plan. Um, I have an app that they follow. Everybody's different. What I'm trying to do is get women in the gym, or I do have a client right now who just did purchase like a squat rack and all the stuff she needs to work out at home because she just doesn't want to go to a gym. So I help women learn how to work out. We'll just call it like a man or like you're supposed to as a middle-aged woman so that you can maintain your muscle mass. I do that as well. So
Mm,
sort of two-pronged. I can work with people who aren't right near me, or I can work with people right in front of me. But I just started to teach a yoga class at the local gym, and I, all the women are 60, 70, and 80, mostly 70 and 80. And I was really afraid that they were gonna not like me because it was going to be too
uh,
hard.
uh,
And they don't know that what I'm asking them to do is too hard, quote unquote. And they're all just going for it and they love it.
mm.
I've never encountered a bunch of women like this ever in my life. I'm just having the blast.
Well,
And they're just
awesome.
doing the craziest things. I'm just like, all right, I'm not going to say I can't believe you're doing that, but you're 87 and you're wow. That's really fun too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And at 87, definitely they're the women that need to be lifting weights and
Yes.
maintaining that muscle strength. And I think I read somewhere or in one of my trainings that when you lift weights, your body kind of like says, "Whoa, that we're being asked to do way more than we should, and you need to send calcium into the bones to get stronger because she's asking us to be stronger and do these heavy lifting things." And I just always kind of remembered that we want calcium in the bones for sure.
Honestly, to if to kind of sum up everything, lifting heavy weights is the number one most important thing that we can do
Mhm.
for our health and for our mind. It also has an effect on our mind. There is nothing more important. There is nothing scientifically at all that even comes close to how important lifting weights is. Nothing.
Yeah.
Been it's not it doesn't even compare to like giving up smoking. Like it's so much bigger than giving up smoking. It's
Mhm.
if that comparison makes any sense. It's like it is the most important thing to do.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree that the yoga teacher I trained under to get my certification, she said one thing senior women should all be doing for sure is lifting weights. And
Absolutely.
absolutely, I agree with that.
Yeah. And my yoga teacher used to say it's better to be strong than flexible.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
a couple of the older women in my these women in their 70s and 80s, after we did a couple yoga classes, they're like, wow, I can't do those push-up things you're asking me to do. And what can I do? And I said, well, let's go into the gym and I'll show you the some things you can do to build upper body strength so that you can do this. And they were all game for it, so
Mhm. That's awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, and you work with men too. Did I hear you say that?
I I'm only 5'1" and
Mhm.
110 pounds, but men are scared of me. I don't know why. I have not had very many men. Um,
Okay.
I don't think men like being told what to do by women,
Mhm.
really,
Mhm.
especially bossy little women like me.
No.
Um, but I have had a few men, and that's been really, really fun. What's fun is they can put on muscle really fast, so they see their results really, really fast. because of all
Mhm.
that testosterone. So
Yeah,
they're fun to
right.
work with. Yeah, they have quick results, even if they're in their mid-70s. So that's pretty fun.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, let us know in the comments if you have questions of Trisha. She'll reach out and answer your questions. How can people follow you and learn more about you?
Well, I am everywhere. So I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, just my name, Trisha Selbach. I have a website. You can reach me. I've made it pretty easy to find me. So anywhere you can, I'm everywhere.
Awesome. Well, and I'll upload all the links in the comments for
Thank
everyone
you.
too. So, yeah, you
Thank you.
guys follow Trisha, and you're just going to be so amazed at how strong she is, and just some great advice. And highly, highly recommend to get her book. It was a very pleasant surprise that taught me in things that I hadn't even thought about before. So, really great new perspective on getting healthy and strong
Well,
at
that's great.
midlife. So,
That's great. I'm so
yeah,
glad. Yeah.
yes. Well, I guess we'll wrap up unless did you have anything else that you wanted to touch base on or,
I think we did cover a lot. Yeah.
yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being a guest, and I really enjoyed talking with you today, and hope to reach out and chat again soon.
I would love that. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.